Welcome to Books to Boardrooms with Dr. Kiran. Today we have Rotterdam Silva. Dr. Silva is the director of Mastercards. He's based out of Dubai office. Welcome, Rotterdam, to this particular show.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Can you just give a little background about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Rotterdam Silva. I work in Mastercard as a director, basically leading projects between Mastercard and its main clients, basically financial institutions.
Can you just give a little background about Mastercard? So basically, what is Mastercard? We all see Mastercard and Visa or American Express when we buy a credit card from any banks. So what does basically Mastercard stand for?
I think much more than cards itself, Mastercard is a provider of solutions in payments.
Okay.
And it's a global company that operates basically across the world. And across its main services, we have the cards itself, but also we have solutions in cybersecurity intelligence and also data and services.
Okay, but let's stick on to this particular point of card services. Can you just elaborate what does Mastercard play in that role for credit cards or debit cards? What is basically, how does it work?
Okay, sure. So in the payments itself for debit cards, credit cards, and also prepaid cards, we have five main stakeholders. The first stakeholder is the client itself, the customer, the person who has the card itself to make a purchase in a specific merchant. The second one is the merchant. The merchant has this machine that's called point of sales or POS machine that's able to make the transaction itself happens. And then we have a bank that's called issuer bank. That's a bank that provides the card to the customer. And on the other side, we have another bank that's called acquiring bank. This acquiring bank is the bank that is the bank of the merchant itself that processes the transaction. And then in the middle, there is the network that's Mastercard that connects the two banks. So whenever there is a transaction in a card, there is an information that goes from the merchant bank to the network, that's Mastercard, and then to the issuing bank. And then the issuing bank verifies if this transaction, the person itself, has enough funds available for the transaction and approves the transaction. And at the moment, the information goes back from the issuer bank to the network and then to the acquiring bank to authorize the transaction and have the financial activity processed. One important point to notice is about the business model itself. So whenever there's a transaction with the card, imagine that we pay, for example, 100 dirhams to buy a specific product. One part of this value, for example, 2 or 3%, is deducted from the merchant and it pays the three parties involved, the issuer bank, the network provider, in that case Mastercard, and also the acquiring bank.
Okay, so there's so many activities happens in between in that fraction of seconds when you swipe the card versus the transaction happens. So if you say, Mastercard or the network provider in between, so basically you act as a connector between the customer, the merchant, and both the banks.
Yes.
So if you are not there, then this transaction is not going to happen.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Okay, so this is basically called the electronic payment, right? So how is this electronic payment? Does this work across in all platforms the similar way? So can you just give a little background about what do you mean by electronic payments?
Yeah, there is different ways to do electronic payments. Cards is one of them, but there's also the peer-to-peer transfer. There's remittances as well. There are also payments bank-to-bank transfers as well. So there are different ways to do electronic payments. One important point right now is to notice about the difference between those different electronic payments and cash. So I see that more and more electronic payments are becoming prevalent across globally, but also here in the Middle East. And the key reasons for this is the following. In general, electronic payments offers a couple of benefits for the users. The first one is because it's safe. So you don't need to handle cash anymore because there is a cost associated with managing cash. The second main benefit is about convenience. So when you do a transaction with the card, you can buy anything from any kind of merchant, at any time. So it provides this convenience for both parties. And also the merchant, you can have customers in any place right now. And the third thing that is very important, I think is the main benefit of those electronic payments is because when you do electronic payment, you leave a data there. And this data can be used in many different forms. For example, with this data, the banks can have like targeted offers for its customers. Also for the merchants itself, for example, if I know the data of the merchant, the banks can estimate the cash flow of the merchant and give credit to products. Also for the governments itself, if I know in the country which payments are happening there, you can understand which sectors of the economy are stronger than others. So, as I mentioned, data becomes like an important asset for this industry.
So apart from being just a network provider, MasterCard plays a very important role in collecting this data, analyzing the data to understand the creditworthiness of maybe the customer, the merchant, the country as a whole, right?
Yes.
So what sort of percentage of transaction across the world right now is happening? Any idea, or here, percentage of transaction cash versus cards or electronic? Because as you told, there is a lot of benefits of being more of the cash in electronic format rather than on the physical cash format. So any idea what is the percentage and what percentage is playing in this market according?
It's difficult to have like exact numbers because when you have like a cash transaction, for example, if you receive my payment in cash and I pay you in cash, so the banks cannot track this transaction. And if afterwards you pay again in cash, this transaction is not in the financial system. But we have some interesting statistics for those cash transactions that you can track. For example, for e-commerce, when a person buys an item in e-commerce, they can pay in card, for example, but they also can pay on cash on delivery. And if you think theoretically, most of those transactions should be card-based, and it is. But when you compare, for example, Middle East with other more developed countries in terms of like utilization of cards, you see an opportunity here in the Middle East. For example, in developed countries, about like 90% of the e-commerce transactions are paid in cash, and the other basically 92-93% are paid with cards. Here is 20% of the transactions are paid in cash. So you see this difference of 7 to 90% versus 20%. So still here in the Middle East, you see a lot of opportunity to migrate more to card and electronic payments in general.
So you told that in this part of the world, 80% of the transactions are electronically done, either by bank transfer or PayPal or by...
For e-commerce. For e-commerce.
And in general also there will be a pretty lot of transaction happening in electronic. So when you have more transaction happening this side, I'm sure there will be much more competition also in this field. So can you just give me some light about who are your major competitors and how does these things work in this market?
Sure. MasterCard has a couple of competitors. So the first one is Visa globally. Another one is American Express, who is stronger in US. In China, we have basically UnionPay. And in e-commerce transactions in general, we have also PayPal. But as I said, the main competitor for MasterCard now is cash. So cash is always the main competitor.
So is that your strategy to convert more people from cash to card rather than fighting with maybe Visa and MasterCard, Visa and American Express can be your more strategy?
No, that's for sure. That's for sure.
So you can have a better market share or bigger market share to compete with.
Yes. I think at the end of the day is the strategy of growing the pie instead of like slicing the pie.
So that's a good strategy. I think making more people aware about the importance and the advantage of electronic payment can be the best way of acquiring more customers. So who is able to educate the customer faster can have a better pie going forward.
Yes.
So these are all electronic payments. So can you just share me some light on what are the recent trends in this electronic payment segment? We hear quite a lot of companies coming in apart from MasterCard and Visa or American Express. So can you share some idea about how is this segment growing?
Yes, for sure. So some important trends to notice. The first one is the growth of e-commerce and digital payments in general. So this trend has been for a while. So even before the coronavirus, the electronic payments and e-commerce has grown. But the coronavirus crisis helped to grow more because now they need to buy more online. So it is growing and it's continuing to grow in the next years as well. Another trend is about analytics. So those electronic transactions generate a lead of data, and this data has to be analyzed. And you can analyze this in several different ways for several different use cases. So more and more effort in analytics is happening because of just growth in payment, in electronic payments. Another important trend is about cybersecurity, because you have all this data and you have to protect this data. So it's another consequence of payments. Besides that, I can tell you about peer-to-peer payments. So right now we have a couple of players where you are able to pay other people directly, without intermediaries. So peer-to-peer payments, and also cross-border payments, especially for businesses. So when you think about now, as a merchant, you can buy for other merchants through international transaction, through cross-border payments. So that's another trend in electronic payments.
Okay. So what is the difference between, like, for example, Apple Pay, Google Pay versus MasterCard?
Yes. So coming back to MasterCard. So MasterCard is a network provider that connects the customers to the merchants through its banks. In the case of Amazon or Apple Pay, they are mobile wallets. And what's a mobile wallet? It's basically an electronic form to store your card information in your mobile. And what happens is that instead of carrying your cards, you can use your mobile to do purchases. So in that case, the information of the cards is still in the mobile. So the transactions, the way that it happens, is exactly the same that I mentioned before. But instead of using a physical card, you are using electronic form of the card.
So it's not replacement of MasterCard or a Visa card. It's basically a different way of carrying the card.
Yes, absolutely.
So as you told, there are competition like Visa, MasterCard, or American Express, etc. So as a customer, when I get a card from the bank, so do I have an option to choose which card I want, and how does MasterCard attract more customers, wherein the customers tell that I need MasterCard compared to maybe a competition? So what are the strategies which MasterCard generally adopt to get more customers?
So basically, MasterCard first has a partnership with the banks. So the banks, they choose to have to issue cards from MasterCard. And then across those in those banks, the banks offer those cards to the customers. So basically, MasterCard don't provide the cards directly to the final customer, but through the banks itself. And the way that MasterCard differentiates the cards is according to the features of the cards. So the advantages that you can put in the card that can be more important to the customer.
Okay, so you try to understand what the customer needs, like whether it's additional offers, buybacks or cashbacks, etc. And then you push those things in your card so that customer prefer more MasterCard compared to your competition.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'd like to know more about how does this region, like the payment in Middle East operates. I mean, how you see there's a growth in the customers going completely towards electronic payment going forward? How you see the trend in Middle East?
No, absolutely. We see that in Middle East there is still a lot of room for growth, especially because cash is still very prevalent here in the region. And I see a couple of opportunities in the region. The first one is, as I mentioned, just migration from cash to cards, electronic payments in general. The second opportunity that I see here is financial inclusion. So basically, when people start to use cashes, a couple of those people, they start to be included in the financial system. They start to participate on the financial system itself. And a third opportunity is in terms of credit. So when people, they have credit cards, they start to have access to credit, and then eventually they can have like other forms of credit as well. So I see these three different, opportunities here for the Middle East. So migration from cash to card, growth in terms of financial inclusion, and also the credit growth.
Okay, so that means you have a very good potential to go and take it forward.
Yes, absolutely.
One final question. I just like to know what exactly is the role of technology. Does AI or any other technology play a major role in this payment gateway, electronic payment network?
No, yes, for sure. In fact, technology is very important for payments in general. So in both in the front end for the customers as well in the back end in terms of infrastructure. When you see about the front end, we see, for example, now the cards that they have NFC technology. So basically, just NFC technology enables people to use the card with close to the POS machine without putting, for example, the password. So that's one of the technology. Another one is in terms of QR codes. Now you can pay with QR codes. And when you see about the background, you will see a lot of things happening in terms of real-time payments. So a lot of investment in infrastructure. In terms of AI, there's a lot of use cases for payments in AI. The first one is try to kind of like better segment customers for special offers. So if I know that you like, for example, to go in a specific restaurant, so I can understand the patterns of utilization of cards, and then I can give you special offers. Another one is, for example, for fraud detection. So you can use the data that you have with AI technology to better detect some triggers for fraud.
Also, I think these type of companies really invest quite a lot on technology because of these benefits. And I think thanks a lot, Rodan, for coming for this particular show. I mean, when we teach our students, they really like to understand how these type of organizations who are not primarily selling their product to the consumers, you're through banks and other secondary partners. So we always try to understand how does you operate and how does you make money, or what sort of operations you guys are having. And thanks a lot for sharing a lot of information about the future of the payments. It's changing quite a lot, and I'm sure MasterCard is playing a very important role, and giving this information will add a lot of value add to the students across the world. Thanks a lot for your valuable time, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the opportunity.